Hello everyone, hello. Back after 2 days off. We're here today for Emi Ibarazaki's Act 4. Oh, desktop audio, I forgot again. Sorry. Forgot once again. I'm never gonna remember that. The series is gonna end and I will not have remembered. I'll have remembered like once or twice to mute my BGM before going live, but never after. Never again. Yes, yesterday off. Well, not 2 days off. It was yesterday off. And now we're back. Act 4 of Emi Ibarazaki's Roots. The bright, bubbly girl with no legs. The track star. The fastest thing on no legs. If you remember Thursday night, we did her Act 4, or Act 3. And we found out that she wouldn't let us get any closer to her. Something in her past that Hoshiuta has not figured out yet has not allowed her to get close to anyone else. We had dinner with her mom and her. We found out some important things about Emi, and now we put them into motion. Also, Trojan Peace, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it out. I said a little bit on Twitter today. It feels interesting that this is the last, not the last one, but we're coming so close to the end of the Katawa Shoujo series already. This is the final act of Route 4 out of 5. Feels interesting. I'm excited to get to next week. Next week should be exciting. And then, of course, next week will be an extra Katawa Shoujo stream. Instead of just 3, we'll have 4, because even after we've 100%ed all the routes, a couple things we still gotta get. Fortunately, I can't watch the Rin to experience it for myself the first time. It's alright, that's alright. All fine with me. I hope you do enjoy it when you experience it. It is a wonderfully enigmatic route. What else was there? I guess an apology. I did not stream last night. I said I might. There's still the Kenshi. Yeah. Yup. I said I might do a guerrilla stream of Monster Hunter Rise last night. But I ended up playing Rise. I did all 4 of the Title Update 1 monster fights, but I did not kind of feel up to streaming. It was felt weird all last night for most of it. It was just meh. Hope you can forgive me. I did post one clip on Twitter. I talked about what I thought about the monsters. I hate Gold Rathian, but everything else is cool. Gold Rathian pisses me off. Should probably run Blight Resistance, but whatever. I'll find something for that. I also posted on Twitter today. I actually went through with it. I bought MLB The Show 2022. I would like to do a Road to the Show on that one. That is going to be one of the games taking up a couple of spots in the time between now and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. That's going to be the next big series. There's not going to be any other big series between the week after next and the release date of Scarlet and Violet, which is Scarlet and Violet release. Okay, I have to check. I don't have it memorized. November. Okay, so yeah, November. Not too far off. But no big series in between then. I've already kind of stated this, so I'll do like MLB The Show. I've got some shorter horror indie games. I don't think it's too long. I might do Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. I've got that, thanks to my friend having a PS5. I've got games like Milk Inside a Bag of Milk Inside a Bag of Milk, and Milk Outside a Bag of Milk Outside a Bag of Milk. Other such small games. I still got rhythm games. Do some more Clone Hero. I've got Muse Dash. We got watch along streams. Brings me to my neck. I was looking through the analytics on oh no, wait, not Thursday. Wednesday. Wednesday was the last Katawa Shoujo stream. Whoops. Thursday was the Field of Dreams game. And I was looking through the analytics on that video, and it was exactly what I expected, because I checked it. It's like 183 views. The most viewed video on my channel by like 40 to 50 views. But not a lot of audience retention. No new subscribers. Not a lot of likes. It was exactly what I thought it was. It was people looking for a free live stream of the game. It was people who were trying to get, who somehow don't have Fox on basic cable, and were trying to find a free stream on YouTube. I imagine they were quite disappointed. But it is now a complete anomaly in my, in my thing, and it has artificially inflated my click-through rate by a lot. A whole lot. Because I think the click-through rate for that stream was like 7% or something ridiculous. Let's see, reach. It was like 8.3%. That's 155 unique viewers. Yeah, it's it was people trying to find like 51.9% through YouTube search. Top YouTube search terms: Cubs vs. Red Field of Dreams, Cubs Reds Field of Dreams, Field of Dreams game 2022, Cubs vs. Reds Field of Dreams. Content suggesting this live stream: Cubs vs. Reds Field of Dreams game live stream. Live Field of Dream game 2022. Yeah. It was people who wanted to get a free stream and didn't realize it was a watch along. Funny. It was a fun stream though. It's been a while since I've really sat down and focused on a baseball game. And now that, we got preseason football underway. I was watching the Bears at work today. Oh, they won. I was so happy. It was such a good game. We got college football starting in 3 weeks from Thursday. People just typed dream and wanted to see a dream stream. With how YouTube searches, I could believe it. Yeah, I'd like to do some more watch-along streams in the future. They're fun. See what, got fun college football. I still gotta do the, college football sickos committee, fan ranking. It closes next Friday. I gotta put in my, my top sickos teams. Well, I'll do that on stream sometime next week. I should have a free day in there. One day where I don't, should be one day where I don't have a Katawa Shoujo stream, because, the vibe would feel a little bit weird going from Katawa Shoujo to dumb, fun college football teams. Let us pop over here. Here we are. And just like that, there is Act 4 right there. Look at our extras. We have just a couple more CGs for Emmy. Some of them we can't get. I think it's these two. So I think we've got 2 we can get and then 1 we can't. So we'll end up with 4 CGs that we cannot actually show on stream. You'll have to trust me that I get them. I will show off this CG though, because this CG is special. And I should be able to click on it fast. I can throw up the sensor and show. Yeah, it'll be fine. But there's a special CG for 100%ing, so I'll show that one off in the final stream, which will probably be on the weekend next week. Reminds me as well, I know I scheduled a collab. There is a 100% CG. It's very, very cute. I like it a lot. I know I scheduled the collab with Bloodfallen for tomorrow night. I'm feeling weirdly tired lately. I might not do that. I'll have to see how I feel in the morning. I might cancel that one. And those will kind of... Sunday slots will be a lot freer in the future. So, it's just we both kind of get busier. And it could be a good day for collabs. So that could be something. But if we look at what we have today, we have... this is instant replay. An act that, or a scene that can get you the final, the bad end for Emmy's route, and then we have 5 Act 1s there. Swing and a miss, saving throw, whispers of the past, hooray for socks and clean teeth. One NSFW scene here, that'll be hooray for socks. And I know what I'm gonna do to show off the path back to the good end, because I did some looking at that one, and it leads right to the final. It reads right into I wonder why it's called clean teeth. I feel like I could have an answer for this if I remembered it a little bit more. But so it leads into one of the more important scenes in Act 4. So I will just show off the second half of instant replay, because it's split into 2 after the decision. I'll just show the second half of that one, and then I'll switch back to my other save file to show off the rest of it. But without much further ado, head to our load. Let's start from Guess Who's Coming? Never mind, and make our wrong decision. Gotta have water to voice act. Garbage! No, not late at all. We're just about to start. I was just doing some general talking. We're just about to start the actual route. Glad you could make it out. Alright, Guess Who's Coming? Never mind. The bad end. How to go about it. The mistake is to go after her, which we'll do. The only way to find out is to go to the source, and the source is currently pretending that she has to use the toilet. Excuse myself politely from the table and head that way, only to catch sight of Emmy, not in the bathroom, but in the kitchen just next to the living room. Emmy, who's your father? I know you're Batman. Oh no. Emmy's left the door open, and as I approach, I can see that she's holding onto the table in an attempt to compose herself, an effort that fails as soon as I open my mouth. Doesn't look like nature's call was that urgent. Emmy jumps and glares at me. What are you doing here? I didn't come here to be with other people. Just wanted to help you. You looked pretty rattled. I said it was nothing, didn't I? And besides, I thought we'd established that you can't help me. No, we've established that you're stubborn. Look who's talking. The guy who followed me. This is different. I want to help you with whatever this is. Funny, because I just want you to leave me alone. Why? Why can't you just trust me? We've been over this already, Yukihyou. I've got to deal with this stuff on my own. I won't accept that. You need my help, you just won't take it. My wording seems to have been a little off. Need? I need your help? It's a good thing we met, isn't it? Because otherwise I guess I'd just be a broken human being, wouldn't I? No, it's a damn good thing that Yukihyou came along to save the day, isn't it? Because God knows I can't save myself, can I? I'm just the poor, emotionally damaged girl with no legs, right? Emmy, you know I don't think that. Really? Because if you thought differently, then I don't think you'd be here, saying I need your help. I've gotten pretty far in life as a normal human being without you. So, what? Nothing we've shared was important? I'm just the guy who hangs out with you? You're my boyfriend, Yukihyou, not my savior. Well, no, that much is obvious. You won't even consider that I could be a help to you, will you? You'll just bottle it all up and hope that a run will solve your problems. Or you'll come visit me and we'll fool around until you feel better. It's not being a healthy human being, Emmy. That's not what a relationship means. Well, it's what it means to me right now, Hiseo. I wish... She seems to reconsider her words just then. A flicker of pain, of doubt on her face. For a moment I think she's about to cry. But the moment passes, and now she's composed herself again. Whatever that wish was will have to go unspoken. Look, I can't do this right now. What, have a serious conversation? Be open? Be honest? Give a damn about anyone besides yourself and your problems? What do you know about my problems? Nothing. You don't know what I've been through, so don't pretend that you do. I know you have nightmares, and I know your father's gone. What happened to him? Emmy's head jerks backwards as if I've just slapped her. That brittle quality has gotten back into her voice. That's enough. Stupid. This whole conversation has just been variations on Emmy stonewalling me. What, you won't even answer that question? Fine. Keep your secrets. They can lie in the grave as far as I'm concerned. Emmy's eyes widen in shock. When she speaks again, it's in a voice that is low, dangerous. Get out of my house, Hiseo. The sudden change in her tone snaps me out of my self-righteous anger and makes me realize with a dawning horror what I've just said. Emmy, I didn't mean... I said, go, Hiseo. Tell my mother that she cooked a wonderful meal, but you've forgotten a prior engagement. And get out of my house. She's trembling now, shaking with an anger, or sadness, or determination. Her voice is still low, controlled, almost a growl. I reach out to put an arm on her shoulder, to apologize for going too far, but she jerks away from my touch. Get out. What can I do? I walk out of the kitchen and go to the living room, make my apology to Mrs. Ibarazaki, and let myself out. I can lie in the grave for all I care. Bad word, Hiseo. Bad word. Instant replay. The morning alarm sounds, then I roll over, switching it off. My eyes open blearily to stare at the ceiling. What am I going to do? Do I get out of bed, go down to the track, and pretend that nothing happened? Will Emmy even show up? After last evening's events, I doubt it. Even supposing that she did, what would I do then? Get over this fight just to dance the same routine the next time something's bothering her? I know that I spoke hastily last evening, especially trying to use her father as leverage. But was anything I said really off the mark? She won't let me in, ever, and she'll be forced to suffer alone. Nothing I do, nothing I say, is going to change that. She won't change, and she's already decided to keep me at arm's length. Can I really bring myself to go down there and see her, knowing that I'm never going to get past where I am now? No, I decide. I really can't. Not today. I roll over and go back to sleep. She probably won't be there anyway. A similar mental conversation repeats itself when it comes time to go to lunch, and I eat in the cafeteria, alone. I don't want to see her. The very thought makes me feel ill. That night, I go for a run. I'm solo for the first time since Emmy got sick after the track meet. Skip seeing the nurse, just in case he asked about Emmy. I don't want to talk about her either. Next day, I do the same thing. Alarm off. Stay in bed. Eat alone. Run alone. To fill the time that I would usually be spending with Emmy, I start reading more. It works surprisingly well, until I find myself ducking into a restroom because I see her walking down the hall in between classes. If she noticed me, she didn't show it, even though I don't suppose she ever shows anything. Certainly not to the girls from her class. I see talking cheerfully to her. Or to her fellow track members. Especially not to me. Alarm off. Stay in bed. Mutoi and I have a lengthy talk about the possibility that string theory is plausible. I don't buy it myself. More than 4 dimensions I can buy. But a bunch of vibrating strings at the subatomic level? It's asking a bit much. This is unironically a lot of people's fate IRL too. It's bad end here, it's just normalcy. Yeah, absolutely. You are absolutely correct. Lack of communication. Communication is important. Looks like I'm not the only one to think this way too. Apparently it's not really as strong a theory as it once was. Mutoi says that's just because nobody has found the right way of looking at the data yet. Eat alone. The rooftop is deserted today. I briefly wonder where Emmy and Rin are, but shrug off the question. The important thing is that they aren't here, so I won't have to talk to them. Since I have nobody to talk to, I bring a book with me to read. The weather's nicer, if getting a little hot. Hopefully it will be cooler in the evening. A cool breeze seems to back up my theory. Rooftop meal game is broken up too. Yup. One little thing. Run alone. It is in fact cooler at the track. No sign of Emmy, which is exactly the sort of thing I'm going for. I stretch out and start on my usual run, trying hard to ignore the lack of a running partner in front of me. Finding my thoughts drifting damnably to that girlish laugh, incorrigible grin, those wide and friendly eyes, her incredibly toned body. I increase the pace to clear my head, chew up the distance between me and the turns, find the speed that makes me think only of my legs and how much they burn. I glance at my watch as I round the final turn, noting that my time's gotten faster. My heart seems a little squirrely tonight, so I give myself a few extra cooldown laps just to be safe. No reason to bring this to the nurse's attention. I'll be fine. A rather Emmy-ish thought to have, I'll admit. I have to hope that eventually I'll stop thinking about her so much. I finish another book before going to bed that night. We'll have to stop by the library tomorrow. I don't know why I keep the early alarm on anymore, but it wakes me up the next morning just the same. I still turn it off and go back to sleep. That afternoon, as I get ready to head to the cafeteria for another solo lunch, I've gotten a new book about a couple of conmen in ancient Persia that I'm pretty excited about reading. I am suddenly cornered by Misha and... I guess just Misha. Off to eat alone again, Hee-chan? We've noticed, you know. We? Shi-chan and I noticed that you've been spending more time alone. She wanted me to find out why, so I told her I'd ask you. I'm surprised she didn't ask me herself. She would have, but she wanted to get a head start on some paperwork. There's a lot of it since we're coming up on the end of the term, you know. Shit, John. Oh no. Why the sudden interest in my well-being, anyway? Shi-chan said it is the duty of the student council to keep track of the emotional health of its students. To allow a constituent to spiral into depression unchecked would be an unforgivable failure in the council's duties. Well, that's easy then. I'm not depressed. But you're eating alone and nobody's seen you and Emmy together at all. Something happened, didn't it, Hee-chan? Misha's voice takes on a slightly sterner tone, though somehow she keeps the familiar lilt at the end of her sentences. I purse my lips, uncertain about how to respond. Alright. Here's the choice. So, we got our 2 saves here. Downplay the issue gets you the bad end. Given and let Misha know gets you the final CG and the route back to the good end. This route is very merciful. And I get it, you know. It's it makes sense to me. With the way Emmy is, I kind of get it. It's not so much a complete end because Emmy's not the type of person to completely shut someone out, so like even after what happened, it takes a lot for her to shut someone out, I think. And then just make the right kind of choices and you will you won't get shut out. She'll let you back in, and then the important thing is thinking and communicating. Which, on the bad end, is exactly what Hiseo does not do. Let's downplay the issue. She's equally digits, which is still her... Yeah, it's kind of a similar thing that, Lily and Shizune do kind of the same thing. You'll find out when you play those. You find out that they sort of have... Every character kind of... It's a very human thing, so that every character has that kind of wall that they put up to keep people from getting in too close. And a lot of it is like... It exists with everyone, and that wall is often built by past emotional trauma. And you build that wall, you don't let people inside. Because you're not sure whether you can really trust them and whether what's happening is real. And kind of what the thing is Hiseo getting through those emotional walls. But we will downplay the issue first. I'm not sure I like the idea of it airing private matters to the student council. Nothing major. Hee-chan, lying is a terrible thing to do. She's not buying it. Okay, give her something, but not too much. We had a disagreement and haven't resolved it yet. Oh? Why not? Also, I think we're a little loud. Let me... Telling you everything, but actually think Emmy was artificially limiting the time spent together. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's everybody, it's part of the really human element of the game, because everybody deals with things differently. I'm going to turn desktop audio down a little bit more. Alright. Oh, why not? Because, look, I don't need to talk about this, okay? It's not a big deal, okay? I'm fine. And Emmy, is she fine too, Hee-chan? Misha's voice has just taken on a decidedly serious edge. This is ridiculous. I don't know, okay? I haven't asked. Things are complicated right now. What kind of man are you? Things get a little rough and you're gonna hide from them? Misha's sudden retort catches me completely off guard. Shichan would call that a cowardly act, and she'd be right, too. You two were close, happy together, and you're just gonna roll over and die without a fight. You should be willing to fight for your girlfriend, Hiseo. Seems that Misha is channeling Shizune at the moment. It wouldn't surprise me to find out that Shizune gave her a script to follow based on my answer. Misha points an imperious arm at the classroom door. Now you get out of the classroom and patch things up. We've still got afternoon classes. This doesn't seem to dissuade Misha. Then after class, you better do it, Hee-chan. It's important that you don't leave things like this. Why? Misha regards me as one would regard an animal's droppings. Didn't you care about her, Hiseo? That's important, isn't it? She's right. I do care about her. Don't I? Okay, I'll see her after class. Great, I'll let Chi-chan know you're okay then. The look returns. I guess that means that Misha isn't angry at me anymore. She waves and disappears down the hallway, and I eat my lunch. While afternoon classes draw to a close, I prepare myself for the task ahead. I have to see Emmy. Misha was at least correct about that. Leaving the question of Emmy and me an open issue wouldn't work. At the very least, I need to apologize for what I said. I consider going to her room to find her, but she's probably still at the track. The steps out of the main building and down the path to the track make me feel like a doomed man. I have a twisting, horrible feeling in my gut that this is all going to go horribly wrong. That I'm not going to accomplish anything, except for maybe driving the final nail in the coffin of whatever it was Emmy and I had. There she is, just as expected, running laps around the track after everyone else has gone to shower and dinner. I don't wave or even make my presence known. I just sit down on the bleachers and watch her run her laps. It takes her a few trips around the track before she notices me, after which she skids to a stop, eyes wide in surprise. Surprise is quickly masked by anger, which in turn fades behind a mask that I already know is impenetrable. "What are you doing here?" Not quite the response I'd hoped for, but at this point I don't have much of a choice. I wanted to apologize for what I said the other day. "The other day?" She laughs, a curt exclamation of disbelief. "It's been almost a week, Hiseo." Yeah, well, better late than never, right? Incorrect. Emmy crosses her arms and stares at me coolly, as if sizing me up. Finally, she nods. I suppose you're right. Water under the bridge, then. I forgive you. Is that all? Her almost impatient question catches me so off guard that she's halfway down the track before I think to shout after her. Just defend, she never apologizes for anything hurtful she said to her. I mean, true. No, wait. Emmy stops, turns, and walks back to me, breathing a little heavily and looking annoyed at my interruption. What? Okay, I need to make this right somehow. I have to know where I stand, maybe patch things up. Can you at least sit down? I think we're okay talking here. Fine, sure. Look, about us. I pause, trying to think of a good way to phrase what I'm about to say. But before I can launch into an impassioned plea for giving me another chance, Emmy's already spoken. There's no more us, Hiseo. Why not? We're just not right for each other. She delivers this outrageous statement without even looking into my eyes. I don't believe you. We're great with one another. Says the guy apologizing for getting thrown out of my house last week. It was a fight. I said something really incredibly stupid and apologized for it. And how many times had we already discussed the problem that started the fight? And how many times had I told you that there was a set boundary that I wouldn't cross? And how many times did you keep trying to cross it? Because your boundary was stupid. Emmy rolls her eyes, folds her arms across her chest, and cocks her head to the side. Do you see this, Hiseo? This is why we're not right for one another. Her voice softens a little, and she reaches out to stroke my cheek. You're a good guy, but we're not going to work. With a horrible, lurching feeling, I realize that she's been practicing this. Maybe every day since I left her house. Even the cheek stroke seems rehearsed, like something out of a movie. She never intended to give me another chance. Hell, she probably would have been fine with never seeing me again. So that's it then? Nothing else to say, but gee, it was fun while it lasted, but so long. This actually seems to amuse Emmy far more than I wanted it to. She gives a rather morbid-sounding chuckle. That's how I've lived my life, Hiseo. You should know that by now. And it was fun. A sad smile. She shivers slightly, and the smile vanishes. But it's over now. It's for the best. I want to yell, to scream at her. Make her see reason that this is stupid, the whole act. That she's just afraid of me. Afraid of what being close to someone means. I want to tell her that I love her, and that I can't just give up on her at the drop of a hat. Except, there's no point. She's made up her mind. We're done. Fine. Emmy nods, satisfied. I want to hit something. Good. She brightens with a false cheeriness. See you around, Hiseo. No, you won't. You won't even try. She shrugs as if to say, have it your way, and turns her back on me once more, quickly accelerating around the curve of the track. I feel numb. This is it. The end of the road for us. Whatever that was. Closure, at least. Emmy rounds the track again without sparing me a second glance. She's running much faster now, and I can't help but think of that first run together. I ran to catch you, to try to prove I wasn't as weak as I knew I was. But it ended badly for me, didn't it? And now you're off, running too fast for me again. And I have the choice to run after you again. But I won't. Not this time. You'd never let me catch you. I don't even notice walking away from the track. Walking into my room, pulling a book out of my bag to read. Just before bed, I reset my alarm. Emmy and I have had our final encounter. We don't speak again after that. There it is. A series of bad choices, capped in a frustrating way. Probably the best way to put it. What else is there to do after that? Hiseo makes all the wrong moves. And, as such, it ends badly. We'll see as we look through the other ends. Or the good end, I suppose, is the only thing we'll be looking at. So we look through that, you know, there were other choices to make. Just thinking. We saw it, actually. Good ending when I was young, but I can picture myself getting I'd never say never on that. You can always... I'd say saying that is bad in of itself, because if you never have to lock yourself in in one mindset. You can get out of a mindset. You can change things. You can improve. You always can. So there's Act 3 finished. Let's look at what happens if we agree with Misha. Right here. So, if we give in and let Misha know... Well, I suppose someone else knowing about my problem can't hurt. Heck, maybe Misha can even offer some advice. We had a fight at her house. I keep trying to get closer and she won't let me get close, and I said something stupid and she threw me out. Have you talked to her since then? I don't know what else to say. I'm not a relationship counselor. I can't. I don't have a degree in therapy or psychology. I cannot help you with that, but I'm very sorry that something so much like this actually happened to you. Misha looks genuinely concerned. I'm surprised, as I'd almost expected her to drop the subject after finding out what the trouble was. Even more surprising is how quickly I find myself spilling my guts to her. No, I haven't yet. I just can't bring myself to face her after that. I made a complete fool of myself, and she probably hates me now anyway. Especially since I haven't seen her since then. You're pretty slow, Hee-chan. This doesn't sound like advice. Huh? Misha places her hands on her hips and launches into a speech that would sound more plausible coming from Shizune. The solution to your problems is simple. You have to go and apologize to her. Leaving things like this will just make things worse. You can't know that she hates you now unless she tells you. Otherwise, there's no evidence that what you fear is true. And if you really care about her, shouldn't you be worried about how she's taking all this? With a sudden start, I realize that she's right. I've kept waking up to an early alarm because part of me wants to meet Emmy at the track for our runs. I've kept running because I know that Emmy would worry about me if I didn't stay healthy. When I went on the roof yesterday, I was half hoping that she would be up there, and felt disappointed when she wasn't. I'm an idiot. Kinda, Hee-chan. So, go and apologize to her as soon as you can, okay? I open my mouth to say that I'll do it right away, but the lunch bell rings and I realize that I still have afternoon classes to attend. First thing after class is over, I'll go see her. I promise. Now, thanks for the advice, I guess. Misha beams at me as if I were a child that had just learned his ABCs. Good. I'll let Chi-chan know that you're okay then. Yeah, you do that. Emmy isn't exactly emotionally intelligent, mature about her past yet either, so it's only natural. Yeah. I think what Emmy's mother says at the end of Act 3 is very good. The whole part about, she's strong enough to deal with it on her own. Like, Emmy's mother made the point, if she wasn't strong enough to deal with by own, she wouldn't be here. But she's definitely strong enough to deal with on her own. Hiseo's now, well, we'll see it in the good route. Hiseo's thing now is that he wants her to know that she doesn't have to, that she can trust someone else. She doesn't have to keep at it alone, she can rely on other people. That's more what he's trying to get her to realize. With a wave, and completely disregarding the fact that people are starting to trickle back into class as opposed to out of it, Misha departs the classroom. I suppose she and Shizune have student council business again. Well, the afternoon wears on. I find myself impatient for lessons to end. I need to see Emmy now. I have to try to set things right. Even if Emmy hates me now, I have to at least apologize. I owe her that much. Should I meet her in her room? No, I decide. It would delay things too much. If I know Emmy, then I can find her at the track. Still have no idea what I'm going to say when I get there, but I take comfort in knowing that Emmy probably wouldn't have a plan for something like this either. Play it by ear, stop being nervous, and just get to the track. Figure the rest out when I get there. The track looms ahead, and another jolt of nerves hits me in the gut. I resist the urge to turn and walk away, and instead note with satisfaction that I was right, and Emmy is still running. I don't make myself immediately known. I find a seat in the bleachers, and watch her run instead, thinking back to our earlier meetings. After a few trips around the track, Emmy notices me and skids to a halt, an expression of surprise that easily slides into one of anger. What are you doing here? Not quite the response I'd hoped for, but at this point I don't have much of a choice. I wanted to apologize for what I said the other day. The other day? She laughs, a curt exclamation of disbelief. It's been almost a week, Hiseo. Yeah, well, better late than never, right? Too hard for certain things and often draw the opposite reaction. Casual lie in the future to have spite. Yeah, I suppose. It's, again, just a thing of communication. Communication is the absolute most important thing. If you try to guess what another person's thinking, you're never going to succeed. Emmy crosses her arms and stares at me coolly, as if sizing me up. Then she nods. Finally she nods. I suppose you're right. Water under the bridge, then. I forgive you. Is that all? Her almost impatient question catches me so off guard that she's already halfway down the track before I think to shout after her. Don't. Wait. She doesn't seem to have heard me, or she doesn't want to hear me. And so I give chase, disregarding completely for the fact that I am not dressed for it. My feet hurt, and my shirt collar feels like a noose around my neck. But I still chase after her, because if I don't, I'll lose my chance. Emmy hasn't started to really accelerate yet, which is probably the only reason why I'm able to catch up to her to reach out and tap her on the shoulder. just before my legs give up running in dress shoes and stumble to a stop. Surprisingly, fortunately, all that running seems to have paid off. I'm short of breath, yes, but at least my heart isn't actively trying to force its way out of my ribcage. My touch on her shoulder has stopped Emmy, and while there's a flash of concern when she sees me catching my breath, it seems that she has a good idea of what I'm capable of too. The concern is short-lived. What? She seems so irritated by my being still there that I almost lose my nerve, but I've lost my nerve enough. I need to explain myself, why I can't just let the matter rest. Ryder wasn't sure there. Emmy folds her arms and bounces one blade on the ground in approximation of tapping her foot impatiently. Angry as she is, and as nervous as I am, she still looks beautiful. Okay, Hiseo. Explain. Thing is, I know that you're really sensitive about the accident and about your dad. I can see Emmy's face twitch at the mention of the two things that have been steadily driving us apart, or at least made me feel like we're being driven apart. But that's why I want to know about them, I think. Because I see how much they hurt you, and I want to be there to comfort you. It makes me miserable seeing you sleepless and depressed. And don't pretend you aren't, because I know, okay? And just remember that night when you fell asleep with me and had that nightmare, and you were happy to have me there when you woke up. I want to be able to be there for you like that whenever you need me to be. The stern face cracks slightly. Emmy interrupts before I can continue further. Just stop right there. We can't see each other anymore, okay? She's rushing now, looking everywhere but at me. I'm surprised she doesn't bolt. She knows I can't catch her. We're not right for one another. It's not true, and you know it. No, it's true. You're too... I know. I know that I've been pushy about knowing your past. You can't tell me yet. And at least let me be there, even if I don't know the reason. It's okay, I promise. I won't ask why you need comfort. I'll just give it freely. Emmy's shaking her head, and tears seem to be threatening the corners of her eyes. Stop saying that. Why? Because you're afraid you'll take me up on it? I'm not afraid. I can't keep the chiding tone from my voice as I respond. Yes, you are. You told me so yourself, remember? That's okay. It really is. However, it seems to me that someone who'd managed to come out of that wreck and still be as energetic and cheerful as you are would be determined enough to face that fear. Determination? What do you know about determination? I know that there's a girl so determined to take care of a total stranger that she'd steal his food at a festival. I know that there's a girl so determined to help me with my own problems that she'd drop a complete dietary and exercise plan, that she'd not only draw up the plans, but she'd follow them with me, even when she couldn't run. Determined enough to keep me at arm's length, that she put herself through emotional pain if she thought it was the right thing to do. Although there's one thing that this determined girl didn't quite plan for, which was that I might feel that same kind of determination to keep her from being hurt. I fell in love with you, and I refuse to let that be thrown away because you're afraid of losing me. What little control Emmy still has at this point cracks, and I find myself suddenly enveloped in her embrace as she cries. Why are you doing this? Why can't you just leave me alone? I hold her close and plant a kiss on the top of her head. I'm sorry, Emmy. You helped me when I first arrived, so now I have to help you. It's only fair. You're utterly hopeless. Did you know that? She hiccups and trembles a little. Funny, I could say the same about you. Can you do something for me, Hiseo? Anything. Can you go now? It feels like she's just shoved a knife through my chest. Go? I need to think, okay? I can't just tell you everything yet. I'm still scared, and when you're around, I can't think clearly. But do me another favor. What's that? Show up for our morning run tomorrow. I smile, feeling better than I have all week. Of course, I wouldn't miss it for the world. Emmy steps back slowly, almost reluctantly. She sniffles a little and then grins at me, a real smile that lights up the track, overpowering the fading evening's light. Oh, do we have music? We do. I wasn't hearing it. Whoops. See you tomorrow, Hiseo. Okay. She darts forward suddenly, planting a soft kiss on my lips, then steps back shyly. Spinning on her back foot, she takes off running again, and I know that our conversation's at an end. My lips tingle with the warmth of that brief kiss, and the memories of the other, longer kisses. I walk back to my room, with a spring in my step. Tomorrow, when my alarm goes off, I'll get up. Excuse me, why are they still talking even though she's going further away? Oh. We can exactly see what Hiseo did differently and why it works. Alright. So, that is actually an interesting thing because... Nope. Not that one. I'm all over the place. It can start in two places. The act can start in two places. But yeah, we can see exactly what Hiseo did to, fix things. What he had to do to make things better. He went in with a different mindset. The first part of 4 is Hiseo still kind of... Yeah, it's kind of a similar thing to what happens in the good part of this. But it's done a little more staggered out of a way. So, yeah. It's pretty nice. Yeah, we see just how Hiseo's able to change. And now... we get to see... what, I don't think it was just the I love you that she needed to hear. I think she also needed to, she needed to hear... she needed to hear more of a reason. She couldn't understand Hiseo's motives for what he was trying to do with getting to know her because she never tried to do any of that. So she didn't know why he would do that, and she needed an explanation. So he gave the explanation, reaffirmed why he wanted to like, be there for her and comfort her. He didn't use the word help. That was also a really important thing. Alright, let's get the... the dreadful H word. Yeah, pretty much. As soon as Hiseo realizes that helping is not what he needs to do, but being there is what he needs to do. Using the word comfort instead of the word help is exactly what he needed to be doing. Emmy doesn't need help to get through this. She just needs somebody else there. If that makes any sense. Basically chain helping each other. Well, on a macro level, sure, but it's different on a micro level. Alright. A swing and a miss. The good act. The good end. The sound of my alarm is an unwelcome intrusion on a sleep that's been a battle to obtain. I doubt I've been truly asleep for more than an hour or two. Too much on my mind. Sorty! I don't think I recognize your name, so welcome to the stream. I'm glad you decided to show up. We're about to start the good end of this act, this route for this character. A little bit of an awkward time to come in just because this is the final episode of this character, but I'm glad you decided to stop by anyway. I appreciate it. Too much on my mind. Did I make the right choice, leaving the house yesterday? Did I manage to get Emmy to realize how unreasonable she's been? Am I ever going to manage to get her to stop being unreasonable? Emmy's mom gave me a new perspective the other day, but I'm still not sure that it's the right perspective. She was hurt when I left yesterday, too. I know that part of any conversation is going to have to include an apology about that. Right thing to do or not. I hurt her. I hurry down to the track, eager to talk to Emmy. I think I know what to say. Apologize for leaving first, and go ahead from there. It's been so long since I played Katawa Shoujo. I also like your voice. First of all, it's nice to always hear more people who've played Katawa Shoujo. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And thank you, I'm glad you like my voice. I hope I can read and do it justice, even with my character voice acting. I hope, actually just about winding down our entire playthrough. It should be known. I think it is one of the best, at the very least, Western-produced visual novels out there. Top 5 favorite game of all time for me, myself, and yeah, it's just fantastic. Oh. But yeah, we're just wrapping up Emmy's route. Next week I'll start Rin's route. And then that'll be, 17 episodes of a Katawa Shoujo playthrough, I think it would be. It's exciting. I hurry down the track, eager to talk to Emmy. I think I know what to say. Apologize for leaving first, and go ahead from there. Unless, of course, Emmy doesn't show up. Which from the looks of things seems like it's the case. It's been about 15 minutes since I got here, and there's no sign of her. She's never late, not unless she's sick, which is unlikely. She probably just doesn't want to see me right now. To take my mind off what that implies, I begin my warm-up routine and take off around the track. It clears my mind wonderfully. For the half hour I'm running, I don't think about anything but the run. Yeah, I think it's a really good touch, is that she has in the good end, she definitely has a little bit more to apologize for. I don't think she has much to apologize for in the bad end. Hiseo makes those bad decisions. Hiseo is right in having to apologize for leaving, because he did it for the right reasons, but he still has to apologize and say why. Communication, like I said. Communication. However, once I've finished and Emmy still hasn't shown up, I get a little worried. With any luck, the nurse will know where she is. If nothing else, I can see what he thinks I should do next. So, last night didn't go too well, I take it? Huh? You already know. I have my ways. It's not as I've missed the distinct absence of your running partner this morning, now would I? No, I suppose not. So, what happened? Don't you know already? Maybe, but I could be bluffing. Perhaps I prefer to get your side of the story before I give any advice. I quickly fill the nurse in on the events of last night, and he takes it all in without changing expression once. Emmy's mom spilled the beans on the same night. Well, if it's need-to-know basis, the nurses kinda need to know. So I get it. The nurse is on a need-to-know basis, so... Nothing about the whole event seems to surprise him, although he does seem surprised when I say I didn't follow Emmy. Chose to talk to her mom instead, huh? Smart move, though I guess it didn't work out too well for you in the end. They're dating 100%. No, I don't see it. I don't see it, actually. Well, I'm not sure. Emmy seemed apologetic when I left, or at least she seemed that way until she put up her defenses again. The nurse sighs and spreads his hands in a conciliatory gesture. There's a reason he has that grin on his face all the time. He's just a happy dude. He's just a guy being a dude. Frankly, I'm surprised she let them down at all. Emmy's had a lot of practice on that score. You probably won't get anything else out of her. I don't believe you. Is that so? You think she'll tell you the whole tale? I'd swear I just saw the nurse's eyes glitter a little. His expression is the same, but he leans forward ever so slightly. I think she'll open up if I ask her without being an idiot about it, yeah? The nurse gives an enigmatic smile in response and shrugs widely. I think he's enjoying his role a little too much. That's the real trick, isn't it? Are you sure you know the right way to approach the subject? I can guarantee you that Emmy's going to try her hardest to pretend last night didn't happen. Goes to dinners. Her mom received a message to dart off from her seat while on Emmy's run. I don't think that that was him. I don't think the nurse was the one who sent the message. It'll be painfully awkward for the both of you, but also be a lot safer than trying to ask her for the whole story again. Could go worse this time. Are you ready for something like that? Sounds like a challenge, like he doesn't believe for a minute that I'd be so bold. I actually feel a little insulted by his lack of confidence in me. Of course I'm ready for that. I love her. My outburst gets a raised eyebrow in response. Occam's razor is not what you're thinking of, but you're thinking of Chekhov's gun, which goes by the following: if you introduce a gun in the first act, use it in the third act. I don't think this is a Chekhov's gun. I don't think the nurse is a Chekhov's gun. He's just a stereotypical, knowledgeable character. Well then. Good luck. Let me know how it all turns out. Although he delivers his parting shot with the same smirk as usual, I actually think that the nurse wants me to succeed. I don't think he is. I think the nurse is just a supplementary character that, he's just a supplementary character that's there to provide hints. Like almost a Gandalf kind of character, if you think of Lord of the Rings. I resist the urge to charge directly to Emmy's room to prove the nurse wrong. I've gone in half-cocked before, and the results were less than stellar. I'm gonna do this. I need to figure out exactly what I'm gonna say, and how I'm going to say it. Something to think about in class. He does have the means to know all this stuff. It makes sense because he was like Emmy's doctor. So yeah, I get it. You never want to go in half-cocked any situation. Okay, I'm gonna make my joke better. You never want to go into a girl's room half-cocked, literally or metaphorically. Did you see that one Google Translate Star Wars Episode 3? No, I did not. I don't pay that much attention to Star Wars. You are at full cock now, Anakin. Okay, pretty good. Sure enough, by the time lunch rolls around, I think I have a good enough idea of what to say. I can do this. The bell rings, and I grab my lunch and dash up the stairs, eager to be there first. I'll need to ask Rin to leave, and I'll need to... Okay, this is still swing and a miss. Hi, Hiseo. Sorry I wasn't able to run with you this morning. I overslept. Somehow both Emmy and Rin have managed to get to the roof before me. Oh, that's no problem. Last night was kind of draining, I guess. Emmy's expression doesn't alter in the slightest. Yeah, sorry about that. But I've had such a weird morning since then. Oh, but really? Emmy proceeds to make small talk for the rest of the time. I can barely get a word in edgewise, and soon find myself interjecting with the sort of back-and-forth dialogue that seems to have defined our early relationship. I'm not going to get anywhere on this problem during lunch, obviously. I can respect that. Emmy obviously doesn't want to accidentally pull Rin into things, and that's fine. Not that I think Rin would notice, but I can at least respect that sort of rationale. I try a different tactic. Hey, Emmy, what are you up to after class today? I was thinking we could go somewhere for dinner or something. Emmy looks genuinely remorseful. We're back at that spot again. Sorry, Hiseo. I promised the track captain that I'd stick around after practice and help some of the other kids with their form. It'll have to be some other time. Yeah, sure. I'm honestly not sure what to do now. Maybe diving into things the day after would be a bad idea anyway. She might still be angry about it and just not showing it. Besides, if she's got track team responsibilities, that's fine, right? I tell myself some variations on the theme the next day, then the next. I wake up, run with Emmy, during which she refuses to talk about anything but the run and what she was doing the night before, and then lunch, where we sit and make small talk until the bell rings. Her new responsibilities effectively keep me from seeing her outside of school. She definitely took that up to avoid... Oh, absolutely. This is absolutely planned. She's doing this intentionally. Her new responsibilities effectively keep me from seeing her outside of school. Maybe, just maybe, I'm letting it happen because it's safer this way, just like the nurse said. Except while it may be safer, I'm feeling more and more wretched. Emmy doesn't look good when I see her anymore. Dark circles lurk under her eyes, she seems more and more distracted, and I can't bring myself to just ask what's wrong, because the timing never seems right. Yeah, I get that. I'm absolutely miserable. Yeah. I guess it's good on Hiseo that he's able to get through to it. Hiseo being able to deal with it is honestly an incredible demonstration of willpower. Another lunch comes. I trudge up the stairs to the rooftop, like a condemned man. Ren is up there, but Emmy is not. Immediately I worry that something's happened to her. Maybe the lack of sleep finally made her collapse, or something worse. She seemed pretty tired after her morning run. Maybe she fell asleep and didn't even make it to class. Hey, Rin. Where's Emmy? In response, I get a rather penetrating look from Rin, and something approaching a frown appears on her face. Is that information really important? I think so. She's usually here with you, isn't she? I don't know. I have no way of being sure. I can confirm that she is, in fact, usually here with you when I come up. Well, she isn't now. Does that worry you? Kind of. That seems to end the conversation, and the point becomes moot anyway, because Emmy bounds through the door with her usual energy. Hiseo was kind of worried about you, Emmy. I don't think he can decide, or maybe I just don't believe him, but I think I'm going to go somewhere less awkward now. That's such a Rin departure. I love Rin so much. I'm so surprised by Rin's being so suddenly forward about, well, anything at all, that I merely watch her head through the door. Emmy is similarly surprised and colors slightly crimson as she stares open-mouthed at me. It occurs to me that I should probably say something, if only to break the awkward silence that has suddenly descended. It's because you weren't here yet. I was, worried about it. Oh yeah, no. Rin absolutely knew it. Rin had a rare moment of groundedness, and it was like, these two need to talk. I'm gonna leave. The genius, struggling artist, absolutely. Love Rin so much. She's amazing. Why? You're usually here, so I was worried that something had happened to you. This isn't the first time that I've been late, you know. Did you get worried all the other times, too? Not really. Emmy seems slightly amused by this. I don't know why, but that kind of pisses me off. So why was this time an exception? She is absolutely a genius. She's very smart. Rin is very smart. She's just, well, you'll find out. You'll find out when you play her out. Everyone else will find out when I play her route. Maybe it's the light teasing tone of the question, but Something in her response pushes me to be honest, though I can't help snapping at her when I say it. Because you've been worrying me since dinner at your house, that's why. Well, now it's out in the open. And Emmy's eyes are wide, and she looks like she wants to bolt, but she doesn't. Still on that, I see. What? You think I'm supposed to just forget about it? You threw me out of your house. We've been going on for almost a week pretending it never happened. I didn't see you bring it up either, you know. I know. I'm sorry that was the case. We have to address it, or we'll just keep up this whatever it is we've got right now. It's killing me to look at how you look right now. Did you know that? Those circles under your eyes and that distracted look in them. And I can't help worrying that I've caused it somehow. You haven't. Trust me. Well, I haven't helped, either. I keep pushing you to tell me things you aren't ready to tell me. Maybe I was wrong to try getting your mother to help me out, but I've been so worried about you that I didn't know what else to do. Well, you don't have to worry about me anymore, okay? I think it's pretty clear we're not right for each other, so maybe we should just stop? Her face is twisted up as she says this, like she doesn't want to say it, but forces herself to anyway. You don't actually want that, do you? Like you can barely bring yourself to say it. Anyway, it won't stop me from worrying about you. I care too much about you to just stop on command. You don't want to tell me what's wrong? That's fine. But I won't stop trying to help you, even if it's just standing by you. Stop saying that. She's shaking now, and as she looks at me, I can see she's afraid and frustrated and a million different things all at once. I shake my head slowly and take a few steps toward her. You know what your mom told me? She told me that you'd never ask for help because you know that you're strong enough to get through it and through anything on your own. But that's not the full story, is it? Her eyes go wide and she takes a step back. I keep going because I think I've finally figured it out. Something tells me I won't get another shot. I've put it off for far too long as it is. There's no harm in having someone help you, unless you're worried about needing help in the first place. You're scared, aren't you? Because of... I trail off because I don't know for certain what happened to Emmy's father, and I don't want to jump to a conclusion. Never mind why, but it's okay to be afraid. You've been running from it and from me for so long, even though you know eventually you'll have to turn around and face your fear. And I'm going to be there to help you when you do. I won't stop, because I don't think you'd want me to. You can understand that sort of determination, can't you? I can see that I've gotten through to her, but she quickly falls back to anger to try and push me away again. Back on your white charger, Hiseo. Gotta help the poor cripple face... Gotta help the poor cripple face her emotional problems? What do you know about me? About what I've already had to face? You think 2 months of learning to walk again was fun? But I did it, and after I did that, I had to... For a moment, it seems as if she's going to say something else, but she cuts herself off. After all that, you don't think you can get past your fear? Emmy, I can't fathom what you've been through, but to come through it and still be the sort of girl that you are, well, it makes me think that you have even more strength than you think. So I'm not going to help you because I think you need rescuing. I don't want to be a knight rescuing the damsel in distress, but even knights helped each other out, you know. I want to help you, even though I know you can do it on your own. For a moment, it looks like Emmy's going to break down completely, but she doesn't. Tears running down her face, but she still stares at me steadily. Why are you trying so hard to help me? I'd say that it's because I owe you one for helping me out when we first met, but that wouldn't be the truth. The truth is, I just want you to be happy. Because I love you. Had I ever said that before? We've been in a relationship, and it's been pretty obvious that I love her, but did I ever actually speak the words? What did you say? I say it again, savoring the feeling of being able to say it at all, being able to say it and mean it. Emmy seems stunned. I said I love you, Emmy. I love you. Just you. And that makes me want to stand by you, no matter what you have to face. I'm wrapped in a fierce hug then, as Emmy begins to sob against my chest. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about everything, but I'm so scared, Hiseo. I'm so scared of losing you, and I love you too, but I can't lose you. I'm so sorry. I hold her quietly, shushing her until she settles down. She steps back, a little more composed. Will you come with me tomorrow? Back to my house? There are some things I need to show you, if I'm going to do this. Of course. Maybe this time we can leave together, instead of separately. Emmy grins, a sudden flash of brightness that seems more genuine than anything I've seen in the past week. Yeah, maybe. The lunch bell rings, and I curse the universe's poor sense of timing. You free tonight? We can talk more then, right? Emmy shakes her head. Sorry, Hiseo, but I'm still helping the track team. Plus, I don't think it would be good if we talk this over tonight. I'm going to be too tired to think properly, and I want to be able to tell you everything without screwing it up. You can wait, right? Even now, there's a bit of fear in her voice. I smile and rest a hand on her shoulder. Okay, I'll be waiting. Emmy gives me a quick kiss before she heads for the stairwell. Thanks, Hiseo. See you tomorrow morning. Wouldn't miss it. I head down the stairs with the feel of her lips on mine, suddenly aware of how much I've missed that sensation. I'll have to remember to thank Rin for getting us to talk to one another. Although it's possible she won't even realize what she's done. Still, if not for her, I doubt I'd have ever been able to confront Emmy again. I guess I needed more help than I realized. Tomorrow, however, I'll need to stand alone through whatever Emmy is trying to work herself up to doing. I'll be up to the task, I hope. Hey. Alright. Now we're on Whispers of the Past. Alright. What's in chat? Oh god, the manly picnic. I remember relating hard with Emmy in this scene, they can ask people out. It's a very human thing, and it makes a lot of sense for, for Emmy, just with what she's had to go through. To other parts of the thing he should have made her understood forever. Probably. There's a lot of things he should have made her understand, but he just didn't think about it. She just stunned at that word. I think part of it, I think there was part of it that was Hiseo not ever saying it. But I think a lot of it was just, like, explaining himself. You know? He was actually able to tell her, like... I think the words, I don't need to know, but I'll still stand by you, basically, is really what Emmy needed to hear. Well, so I will guarantee you we're gonna go. This is not gonna be the shortest stream in our Katawa Shoujo playthrough because Hanako's Act 2 is still going to be the shortest, probably by half an hour minimum. The morning sun is bright through my open window, and the sound of my alarm quickly has me up and about. I slept surprisingly well last night, secure in the knowledge that at least I've got another chance with Emmy. If I can just keep myself from doing anything stupid, maybe I'll find out what's been eating her recently. I have a few educated guesses, but nothing concrete, and certainly nothing that I'm going to say to her. I'd much prefer to have her tell me herself. Although I can't help remembering the nurse's warning that I might not like what she has to say. Do I really need to know that badly? What if it's something awful that makes me repulsed by her? Can I really say that I'm prepared to handle whatever she has to say, regardless of what it is? Emmy said she wanted to tell me without screwing it up. What the hell did she mean by that? What's there to screw up? I'm so shy she skipped nurturing a friendship for a whole act. The first two yeah, Hanako's route is so interesting. I do love it, though. It's a very, very nice route. I suppose there's not much use worrying about it, though. I'll find out today. It occurs to me that I really, really need a run this morning, to clear my head if nothing else. Emmy is waiting for me as promised, looking a little haggard, but otherwise bright and cheerful. Much more so than any previous day this week. Iseo, you're late. I wave my hand dismissively. Nonsense, you're just early. Emmy grins back, and it feels like we're finally back to where we should be with one another. Except now Emmy, not just me, wants to take another step forward, although a part of me worries that she'll back out at the last second. Hurry up and stretch, Hiseo. I don't want to miss the bus. The bus? I said I wanted you to come back to my house, remember? And I promised Mom we'd be there in time for lunch, so I wanted to hurry. Early start, huh? It's more for my mom's benefit than anything else. Well, that's okay. I unsuccessfully try to guess what Emmy has planned, shortly before realizing that it doesn't matter that much to me. I quickly go through my warm-up routine while Emmy bounces impatiently from one foot to the other. She really does seem to want to get moving as soon as possible. The run is over so quickly I can barely believe that I haven't fallen over dead afterwards. Emmy set a blistering pace, and I, in my foolishness, kept up with her. Well, until the last few laps. I had to slow down just in case. I don't mind, and Emmy's waiting patiently for me when I finish. As patiently as she can wait, anyway. Finished? Good, come on. Grabbing my arm, she practically rushes me down to the nurse's office. You seem in a hurry, Emmy. Trying to catch the early bus? Tomato Cat! Yuki, how are you doing? Mostly hyped for the 18th. Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah. That'll be fun. Welcome to the stream as well, Tomato Cat. You've come just in time for the happy climax of, Act 4. Yeah, I told Mom I'd be back for lunch. Well, I'll take care of you first, then. But Hiseo's gotta come with me, too. The nurse raises a single eyebrow at this statement and peers at the two of us searchingly. Really? Today, huh? Emmy's response is a nod, followed by a surprisingly shy grin. Well then, we'll make this quick. Emmy enters the nurse's office, and I patiently wait outside for her to be finished, wondering just why the nurse seemed to be surprised by Emmy's declaration. I feel like I'm missing out on some joke or the significance of today, beyond the fact that it's clearly significant in some way, of course. Hold on. Sorry. True to his word, the nurse has Emmy out of his office surprisingly quickly, and I take her place after promising to meet up at the front gate. The nurse takes my pulse and listens for a bit. Your heartbeat's faster than usual. Been pushing yourself again, have you? Well, Emmy seemed in a rush to get through the run, so... I'm not surprised. Today is rather important to her, you know. I suspected that could be the case, but I have no idea why that's the case. He hasn't told you? Interesting. So you're not going to tell me either, then? No, I'm not. I suppose that Emmy has her own plan for explaining today to you, and I don't want to mess with that. You'll find out soon enough, so what's the rush? Now, as for your heart, I would take it easy the rest of the day. No spontaneous races or anything like that. Got it? Got it. She won't have her running legs on anyway, right? No, but if you think something like that is going to stop her. Good point. I don't think it'll be much of an issue today of all days, but still. He's trying to reassure me he's doing a terrible job. I'm quickly becoming more and more worried about what today could be for. Like, suddenly finding out Emmy's in a cult or something. At the same time, if today is such a big deal and Emmy wants me to be there with her for it, then maybe she really does want to grow closer to me. Maybe this will be the answer to all the riddles, to the sleepless nights and the sudden mood swings. Either way, I barely remember to thank the nurse before taking off as quickly as I dare for my room, to get a shower and throw on some decent-looking clothes. If today is as important as it seems to be, I should dress appropriately. Emmy, of course, proves me wrong as soon as I reach the front gate, wearing her usual shirt and shorts. So at least I know it's not a terribly formal affair, whatever it is. You're early, Hiseo. Not as early as you. Eager, are we? Yep. Emmy has her usual clothes because Emmy only has three outfits. Emmy cheekily pokes out her tongue. The bus stop isn't very crowded at this hour, which seems to please Emmy, and we end up relaxing a little as we wait. We sit in silence for a while, but I can tell that Emmy's trying to work herself up to say something. Can complain at how cute she is, though. Exactly. It's a very cute outfit. I don't have anything to say myself, so I sit waiting for her to talk. It doesn't take too long. So, I'm sure you're curious as to why the nurse thought it was so weird for me to be bringing you along today. I was a bit, yes, but if you're not ready to tell me... Emmy stops my sentence by placing a finger on my lips. Don't tempt me, Hiseo. I want to tell you this, but I'm just uncertain as to how to go about it. I don't want to keep delaying or deferring. I just want to be able to say it. So say it. You know that it's not going to be that easy for me, Hiseo. So treat it like running. Warm up to it with something small and easy, and go from there. But don't do it too fast, okay? I'm a patient man. I can wait for you to get to it. I just thought you were only going for Hanukkah route, like only... Nope, I'm doing a 100% playthrough. If I'm gonna play this game, I'm gonna 100% it. This is the third time I'll have 100% of the game. Katawa Shoujo is not a game I do in half measures. Anytime I decide to actually go through it and read it, I'm going 100%. Because it enraptures me that much. The ratio of Katawa Shoujo content to non-Katawa Shoujo content on my channel in the past month and 9 days has been startling, because I've kind of just fixated on the game. I very much love this game, and I want to do it right. Hanako's actually isn't even my favorite route in the game, so if I was to do any one route, I would do Rin's. But I like to start with Hanako's route because it's a good starting route. When I first started ME2, yeah, I remember when I first played this, the very first time, all those years ago. I think it would be 6 or 7 years ago, first time I played it. I really did play it in like a week. I went through every route in a week, total. I was that into it. It was amazing. I was enraptured. Emmy seems to consider my words, weighing them against what is probably a desire to get it over with. I will admit, as much as I'm telling Emmy to take her time, I wouldn't mind her getting it over with either. But somehow I know that Emmy probably needs more time than the bus ride will provide to get it all out. Whatever it is. Yeah, maybe you're right. The bus stop probably isn't the best place for this anyway. But just to make sure that I don't go back on my word, I'll at least say this. She takes a deep breath, lets it out, and after a moment, says in a low voice, "We're going to see my dad today." The words hang in the air, and I can see that Emmy is afraid that I'll panic and disappear in response, which a part of me almost wants to do. Incredibly slow when it comes to being ticket scene by scene, and I wasn't reading it out loud. I was I played it during the summer, so I had a lot. I really could just sit uninterrupted and like take it all in. My first playthrough of the game was I didn't get it as deeply as my second one. Maybe it's because now I'm reading it, but maybe it's because I have more experience with the world. But I did not. Yeah, it was not taken as thoughtfully, I guess, as my second or third playthroughs of this. I think the first one was good, though. I think if you can... I think having one playthrough where you don't inexperience with the world, I guess would be a way to put it. I think it's helped me a lot in subsequent playthroughs. But it would be stupid of me to back out, or to suddenly abandon the promise I made to be there for Emmy when she needs me. The nurse thought it was so weird of her to bring me along. She doesn't bring anyone along, or at least I'm willing to bet that she hasn't before today. The day seems to take on an even greater significance. What has it taken Emmy to even get this far? Why is that the best I can manage as a response? Yeah. I don't know what I should say. Nothing, I think. Just promise that you're gonna come with me. Of course. You know I will. Emmy smiles wanly, looking a little relieved. Good. In that case, we'd better get going. The bus pulls up just a little after she finishes the sentence. Vague memories of my first trip out here comes to mind as I step off the bus, but unfortunately, they're too vague to be of any use. I will be the first to admit that I don't quite recall how to get to Emmy's house, so I let her lead the way. She seems content to walk in silence, and I myself have no idea what I could possibly say, so the two of us arrive at her house, having said nothing since getting off the bus. Emmy's mother opens the door and doesn't seem surprised to see me standing next to her daughter. I expect that Emmy would have phoned ahead to let her mother know of the change in plans. Emmy, Hiseo, you're just in time. Lunch is just about ready. Great, I was afraid we might be running late. As fast as you were going this morning, I doubt there was much of a chance of that. I certainly hope she wasn't too much of a bother, Hiseo. She tends to get a little paranoid about being on time when food's involved. I hadn't noticed. This earns me a swat on the arm from Emmy, who, despite the serious nature of our conversation on the bus, the almost brooding quiet walk, has quickly become cheerful again. Probably to keep her mother from worrying about whatever it is Emmy plans to tell me later. Mrs. Ibarazaki ushers us in, and in short order we're around the table devouring lunch. Hadn't realized how hungry I was until I got here, but for once I seem to be eating almost as much as Emmy. Goodness, it's a good thing I made so much. The two of you are acting like you haven't eaten in days. I skipped breakfast this morning. Me too. Had to catch the bus, I assume. That, and I figured you'd make too much food, so it wouldn't matter if I skipped breakfast. Well, it's good to know that I'm predictable. Emmy nods enthusiastically, and conversation falls off again as we very nearly clear the table of anything edible. It is a testament to the sheer amount of food on offer that we don't finish everything. I lean back in my chair with a sigh and thank Mrs. Ibarazaki for the food. I'm glad you liked it, Hiseo. Now, has Emmy told you where we're going? Yeah, sort of. Is it far from here? Not really, but we'll drive there to save time. It closes kind of early. I nod in assent and stand up, ready to go. Well then, shall we? Mrs. Ibarazaki nods and leaves the room to grab her keys. Emmy, I notice, has started to fidget nervously. Second thoughts? Emmy smiles tightly at me and shrugs. She's fallen silent again, which probably means that I'm right, and she is starting to regret bringing me along. Not that I blame her, she's done such a good job of shutting me out that I doubt it's easy to suddenly open up. Honestly, I'm worried she's forcing it. But she said while waiting for the bus that I'm not supposed to give her a chance to back out. Since I promised to go with her anyway, I suppose there's not much of a choice. Not much of a choice. I can't go back on my promise, and she can't go back on hers. I just hope the both of us are up to it. We're off. Emmy's mother blows through the dining room, collects the two of us, and heads out the door at a brisk pace. Now I know where her daughter gets it from. The car pulls up at the cemetery gates, and I feel Emmy tense up beside me. I reach over and give her hand a comforting squeeze, which causes her to relax a little. Emmy's mother doesn't follow us, explaining that she prefers to visit the grave alone. Emmy steps through the gates and looks back, as if to make sure that I'm still there. We step into the cemetery. I don't feel comfortable in cemeteries. Gravestones litter the ground, each one serving as a reminder that someone used to be alive and is no longer. How many died young? How many were as old as I am now? When do I wind up with a marker of my own? How much longer do I have left? The concept of not waking up, not seeing Emmy anymore, is not a happy one. It frightens me, and I very nearly turn around and exit right then and there. I don't want to go among dead people. I don't want to see their stones and think about who they were, or what they could have been if only they'd had more time. Then I look at the girl next to me, and my resolve returns. Emmy striding purposefully down the path, eyes clear, setting a path that's very nearly a jog. The sooner we get there, I suspect she thinks, the better. He gets it. He just doesn't want to make a guess. He said it as much before. The fact that he didn't get it until Mrs. Ibarazaki kind of talked is a question for another day. But he gets it now. We're here. A gravestone, wholly unremarkable in everything except for the name etched upon it. The grass has grown up around the base. Emmy's eyes are riveted to the stone. After a few moments, she turns around, looking surprisingly calm, yet solemn. Pink's not actually my favorite color, you know. What? I'm warming up to it. People tend to think that pink's my favorite color. I think it's because I like strawberries, and even though there's a red, they just assume that pink's the right color for strawberries. And that it's my favorite color, but it's not. I'm too polite to tell anyone otherwise, of course. It's not the kind of thing worth getting worried about. But I'll bet even you thought my pink was my favorite color. Blue. That's my favorite color. My mom and dad are the only two who know that, and now you do too. Thanks for telling me, I think. You're welcome. There's a pause as she considers what to say next, drawing a quick breath. I can't carry a tune to save my life. I can hum, but actually singing a song is something I've never been able to do. I don't mind because I'm not a fan of karaoke anyway. Well, that's one potential date idea out the window. People all think that I'm a really popular and friendly person, but I only have a few close friends. Probably because I keep everyone in the dark, but I think it's also because I hate the idea of losing a close friend. There aren't many people worth the risk. I'm terrible at saying goodbye. I sometimes think that I only run because it's what I used to do with my father. You're not my first boyfriend. I dated a guy for a long while during my second year at Yamaku, but in the end we broke up because I didn't want to get closer to him. He couldn't live with that distance between us. Her rate of speaking increases slightly, as if she's rushing towards a finish line. I'm actually 1 year older than you. Everyone thinks I'm younger because I'm short, but I had to skip one school year because of my accident. They initially thought I was paralyzed when they pulled me out of the wreckage. I'd lost my legs already. They were afraid I wouldn't even be able to use what was left of them. After surgery, it was clear that their initial assessments was mistaken. I couldn't feel my legs because of shock. Short-term paralysis due to the other trauma I'd experienced. My recovery was one of the fastest they'd ever seen, or so they told me. I never found out if they were serious about that or if they told that to all the patients starting to walk again. She pauses, gathering herself for one last effort. 8 years ago today, I lost my legs. And I lost my father as well. He died on the way to the hospital. Didn't even go to the gravestone until 2 months later, and couldn't attend his funeral. I'm so sorry. Don't be. That's what everyone always says, that they're sorry. I hate hearing that. Like anyone could have done anything to change what happened. You know the best piece of advice I got? These things happen. I don't even remember who said it, but I guess they didn't have anything better to say. But it's true, you know. These things happen, and there's nothing you can do about them. They aren't necessarily planned, and they aren't always bad. They aren't always good, but they are. So I made the decision that I would live without worrying about the future. And to be sure I never had to say goodbye and again, I decided I wouldn't let people get close to me anymore. After all, they could be taken away at any time. And you know what? She laughs, a little bitterly. Her eyes start to well up with tears. I step forward to embrace her, but she holds up a hand to stop me. Not finished. A deep breath, and she continues. It worked pretty well, till I met you and I saw that you were trying to adjust to stuff here, so I thought I'd help, and then you were so nice and I couldn't help it. The tears are flowing now, and she accepts the embrace this time. The rest of her sentence is mumbled into my chest. I tried not to fall for you, but I did. And then I tried to keep you at a distance, like with my first boyfriend, but I couldn't. But I've been so scared because I didn't want to lose you, and I might anyway. Hey, I'm still around, right? Maybe I won't be forever, but don't you think it'll be fun while it lasts? Neither of us could survive the day. There could be a bus crash or something. But so long as I know that I've been with you, I don't think it matters. A sudden thought strikes me, and I can't help laughing. My condition had me scared of dying so badly that I immediately seized on the opportunity Emmy presented to improve my odds of living longer. But without Emmy, would there have been any motivation to keep up with my running? It hits me that Emmy is the reason I want to go running every day, so I can spend as much time with her as possible. Emmy looks up at me, confused. We'll go on living until we stop, and when we stop living, we'll be able to know that at least we had time together, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Because I love you, Emmy, and right now, that's enough for me. Emmy smiles through her tears and steps back from me. You know, it's funny. What is? I thought that the best way to live in the moment was to do it alone. But now I don't think I'd have it any other way either. I'm glad I met you, Hiseo. Well, these things happen. Emmy and I stay by the grave for a while, as Emmy pays her respects to her father. When she's ready to go, we exit the graveyard side by side. Emmy's mother drives us back to Yamaku. The trip back is very quiet. We wave goodbye as the car drives off, and I glance down at the girl leaning on my arm. How are you feeling? Emmy shrugs noncommittally. I'll be fine. Come on, let's go. I think... Yes, okay. Oh! Less of a serious scene on this point now. Wow. I always forget how, I love the way she does that. The way she gets into it. It's a good... I like that it brings it back. Also, Rio, welcome to the stream. I'm glad you could make it out. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well today, and I hope you kind of came at an interesting time. We're about done with we're about done with the route, but I'm glad you stopped by a little bit at least. Fact is adorable. I would carry your ass to karaoke either. Yeah. Blue, she doesn't even wear it. I thought red, I would have thought green maybe. But yeah, I always forget. Yeah, she starts off with the color. Carry a tune. Boyfriend. Can't say goodbye. Yeah, it's a... Oh. Makes sense or not, yeah. Now we're on a little bit of a... We had the really emotional scene, and now we get a censored scene, and then we get the happy ending. And then that's the route. That's Emmy's route. So let's get on to it. We pause outside the girls' dorm, and I turn to face Emmy, ready to say goodbye. Why didn't you come up for a while? Okay. It's mellowed down for at that point, accepted the happy ending with a heavy heart. I can understand Emmy a lot, so I completely get her route. It makes a lot of sense to me. The walk up to a room is in silence. I'm not sure why I supposed I'd be turned away at the door. I guess I just assumed she'd want to be alone. Her mom, the nurse, everyone who knew the significance of today seemed to think it best to leave Emmy alone. But she took me into the graveyard with her. She told me the whole story of what happened on the day she lost her legs. She wanted me around. The significance of this does not escape me. Emmy opens the door and steps into her room, not even bothering to invite me in, holding the door for me expectantly. I step in, and the door swings shut behind me. Hey, can I ask you a favor? Sure. Can't guarantee I'll do it, but... Emmy giggles and pulls me into a kiss that starts out soft, but deepens into something almost desperate. Stay with me, please. Her voice is dropped to a whisper. The question is barely audible, over the sound of my own breathing. There's something about the way that she asked that question, the hesitancy in it, the quiet voice, that makes me think she doesn't mean tonight. No, she means exactly what she said. Stay with me. Not tonight or forever, because both of us know there's no such thing as forever. There's no time limit to her request. There's just the request. The favor. Can I do that? Can I stay with her? Of course. We embrace again, Emmy guiding me towards her bed, stepping backwards with care until she sits down on the edge. I think... Yes, okay, it does go right to it. Alright. But I'm keeping this up because I don't trust it. I'm not getting flashbanged by boobs. She did it once last Katawa Shoujo stream. I'm not having it happen again. I collapse next to Emmy, almost immediately curls against me, smiling. Mentally, I feel grateful that Emmy keeps her nails short, otherwise I think she might have drawn blood. Ooh. I sit up briefly to dispose of the now used condom and lay back down next to Emmy, who's in turn taken care of cleaning herself off. For a while we lay in silence, savoring the feeling of being next to one another. Emmy is the first to speak. Yeah, there's the boob flashbang. Listen, to quote the other girl who has 3 NSFW scenes, a healthy adolescent sex drive. Hey, Hisao. Thanks for coming with me today. I smile and plant a kiss on her head. Of course, my pleasure. Emmy snuggles closer, and I can feel her breathing begin to slacken as she begins to drift off to sleep. Just as she's about to fall asleep, she wakes up enough to mutter a single sentence. I love you, Hisao. Then she's out like a light, leaving me feeling like I'm on top of the world. I draw the slumbering Emmy as close as possible, pull the covers over us to keep the chill off, and fall asleep as happy as I've ever been. Yay! Cute. I'm not taking the censor off first, though. Not doing it. I'm not letting it happen. YouTube didn't go after me for the last one. I think I covered it fast enough, but I'm not letting it happen again. The morning light seems to reach further into Emmy's room than it does into mine. This results in my waking up earlier than I would have if I had gone back to my room last night, as had previously been our routine. I did not realize it until this morning, but this is the first time we've actually spent the night together. A small movement from my partner's still slumbering form caused me to look to the side. Hair splayed across her face, Emmy continues to sleep peacefully curled up next to me. It's slightly weird seeing her without her trademark twin tails, but it's also a look I could get used to. Yeah, this is, Aria de la Tol. Beautiful. It means, the exact translation of that is Aria of the Star, because étoile means star in French. Fun fact for you there. The small size of the beds here necessitate her curling up, but I'm pretty sure she would have done so anyway. Yeah, Star Aria, that's exactly what it is. Aria de étoile. I believe it's pronounced étoile. My French pronunciation is not amazing, but The covers are nearly over her head, and I smile as an errant strand of hair causes her nose to twitch slightly. Unable to help myself, I draw her a little closer, a move which she seemed to think is a good idea. Her steady breath raises a trail of goosebumps on my chest, but I don't mind. Aria of the toilets. I am no longer tired, but I do not feel a need to move from my current position. Emmy's warm body in repose against mine is far too comfortable to move. I gaze up at the ceiling and consider how it is that we got to this point. We've been close for a while, but not this close. It seems like only yesterday that she ran into me in the hallway. After apologizing, decided to take an interest in my well-being. But that grew into something else, which I at least was not expecting. One thing is for certain. Having found Emmy, I will try as hard as I can not to lose her. My morning music is interrupted by further movement from Emmy. Her eyes flutter open, and she seems briefly confused by my presence in her bed, as well as her current state of dress, which is non-existent. I think I can show this? This is a CG, it's not essential, so it's this one, it's cute. She's covered, so it's cute. I'm not gonna leave it up for long though. But that's the CG. That's the last CG of Emmy's root. Then she smiles happily and sits up, her face looking down at me. Good morning, Iseo. Hi. Sleep well? Yeah, I did. Exhausting day yesterday, you know? I think back over yesterday's trip to the graveyard. Yeah, glad to hear you slept well. How'd you sleep? Games end a good ending, but hard part isn't even the relationship. Yeah, this scene is amazing. I love it. Well enough, although you kept hogging the covers. This earns me a shove and a stuck-out tongue. I chuckle, and Emmy giggles a little, and we fall quiet for a while. I soak up the feeling of how bright it all seems. Waking up with Emmy by me, crammed into a bed made for one person. It's something I could get used to. Hey, Hiseo. Thanks for sticking around. No problem. Saved me the walk back anyway, right? This draws another giggle, but then Emmy's expression turns serious again. No, really. I kept trying to push you away because I thought that was the right thing to do. And you stuck around through it all. I haven't made any of this easy for you, but you stuck it out anyway. So really, I mean it. Thank you. She punctuates this by giving me a kiss, pulling back and looking at me with an expression of affection. I reach up and ruffle her hair, smiling all the while. Stupidly lucky, I think. To have come through everything after my heart attack, and to somehow have found this girl is nothing short of a miracle. You're very welcome, Emmy. I couldn't bear the thought of giving you up. I'll even continue to stick around, if you want. I'd like that. That settles it then. I don't know how long my heart will keep working. And I don't even really know what I'll do after this year is over, apart from going to university. As long as Emmy's around, I think I'll be okay. I've managed to help her, and she's managed to help me. If we keep doing that, we'll be okay. I think. So, Iseo? What do you want to do today? Oh, it's such a nice ending. It's so sweet. I love that route. It's still not my favorite, but it's a very, very nice one. All the little stuff of Emmy before they finished her design. I can't remember what the credits theme is called, but it is a very nice one. I do like that the soundtrack is all free to download. Which order would you put it? I think I've set it off before, but I do Rin, Hanako, Lily, Emmy, Shizune. Romance and Andante, yes, there's Romance and Andante 1 and Romance and Andante 2. I think this is the original Romance and Andante, and then Romance and Andante 2 is one you hear in game. That's the order I'd put them in, but really it's like trying to rank children. Like your children. They're all so wonderful. Do we have... Okay. So, that is our second shortest run through. It's about 6 hours and 50 minutes to the bad end, about 7 hours and 45 minutes to the good end. We were 6:45 to the bad end with Lily. We were 6 hours and 7 minutes to the good end with Lily. Why was that called Clean Teeth again? You know, that's a good point. Let's, we can go look at what the description is. Nope, no clue. Maybe because it's a new start for them. Sex, drugs, but no rock and roll. A 5, a scene act. Love the spoilerish names. Yeah. This one, definitely spoilerish. Yeah, that one is a good hit. It's not even spoiler, it's just a hint. Yeah, they all got little descriptions to them. So it's pretty nice. And now, that is 79% completion. 4 routes completely done. And we have only 1, 2, 3, 4 Act 1 scenes left. Rin, I believe, also has the most we'll have to do. Yeah, we're missing... After we get... Well, once you get Rin's good end, you're missing 5 scenes and 1 CG. So I think that's the most amount of Act 1 wrap-up we'll have to do. Act 3, you can get her bad ending. Act 4, you get her neutral ending. Which I'll both show off before the good ending. It's typical. We'll look at our CGs. We're missing 1 there. 1, 2. See, we filled them all in other than that. Wait! Emmy doesn't have a lot of NSFW CGs. I just realized that. We're missing 1, 2... 2 CGs for Hanako. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For Lily. Thanks, Lily. Fucking pervert. All of Rin's stuff. And we're missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 for Lily, 5 for Shizune. And then, of course, the 100% CG. And all of Rin's stuff. Starts on 6. No, she does, yeah. Lily has 3. 5 for Lily, which is a lot. So this must be the shed. And this must be the final one. 3 events, but 2 extra hot scenes. I don't know how that... Yeah, it's... So it's interesting. Like, the most interesting is that Shizune and Lily have the same amount of missing CGs from that type. But Shizune only has 2. That is our playthrough of Emmy's, though. It was Emmy Ibarazaki's route. A very sweet, sweet, beautiful one. Super... It's so nice. It's such a nice one. I'd say probably the most stereotypically romantic one. No, Shizune's nice. Just have to get to know her. She does only have one. Hanako only has one. And it's at the very end. So, yeah. Yeah, we've got one little gap here, and that'll be where Rin fills in. After that, we'll have 100% completion of Katawa Shoujo. For my third time. That was short. Only 2 hours. Second shortest. We got all our stuff here. I don't think the scene changes if you go back onto the good end. So, yeah. Hanako's was definitely the longest one, but it was also the one where we took the most time with Act 1. 10 years ago. Yeah. A decade old this game is. Feels crazy. And then next week, feeling down for the manly picnic is the first ending ever. The manly picnic. No, that's... I feel like that's a good one to show off last. I feel like I said, Hanako's I think is a good one to start off with. I prayed properly and finished Emmy just last week. Wow, that is a lot of things that came between. I'm glad you were able to do some roots, though. Yeah. Man. Probably shouldn't just sit and be silent and think about it. I'm just preparing myself for Rin's route. Rin's route might legitimately make me cry. You might hear me cry on camera for this, or on stream for the second time in the channel history. It hurts. It hurts, man. That hurts. Rin is just such an interesting, enigmatic character. I feel like fall for isn't the right word, but I didn't like watch it 5 years later and I'm finally and then Rin. Or if it's gonna take you 5 years, you could just watch it and then you'll have forgot everything by the time you get around to playing Rin. I do that with a lot of games. To be honest, I watch people play them. I don't get around to actually playing them myself for a while, and then I've forgotten what I watched. It works out. Oh. Don't tempt me with that. I gotta get views somehow, man. Yeah, I love... Same as myself playing them. Yeah, true. Rin is such a wonderful, wonderful character. Like I said, I didn't fully get her my first time through. But the second time through, going back to it after, you know, experiencing life, Rin definitely someone a bit more. And I really appreciate it for that. Let's go over here. It's all the Katawa Shoujo for today. I thought it would be kind of short, and I was right. But that's okay. It doesn't have to be long. Don't have to be long at all. Because that was definitely emotional. Far beyond its actual length. Oh, sorry, I should... Boom. There you go. Can't wait to see the philosophizing on her route, but I imagine the romance might be a bit... You really know how to read Rin, don't you? That is, pretty much. But it makes for such an interesting route, because getting to know a little bit more about how Rin thinks is, fantastic. Yes. Other than that, I don't have anything else for you, but my very wonderful friend, Valerie Valkyrie, is starting a new series on her channel, and I think it would be super awesome if everybody who's watching me headed over and watched her and supported her, because she's fantastic. I dropped the link in the stream chat. Go and do a little bit of a Hoshi raid. A Yuki raid, I suppose. She is wonderful. She's part of the reason I started streaming in the first place. So if you could support her, I would appreciate it. Thank you for reading Katawa Shoujo. No problem. I love reading this. I hope people will join for the next route. If you enjoyed the stream, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. I'd love if you enjoyed the stream enough for you to subscribe. We're closing on 100 subscribers. We're 5 away. 5 away from 100. I've got fun stuff planned for 100. So the sooner I get to reveal that, the sooner I can show it off and be happy about it all. But hit the bell, leave a comment if you want to. It helps with analytics, so maybe. Follow me on Twitter if you enjoy the stream. If you enjoy the stuff I say on here, you'll probably enjoy my Twitter content. I post monster. Sometimes I post Monster Hunter Hunt clips. Other times I complain about things. Other times it's sports stuff. You know, it's a mixed bag, just like me. You can follow me on Twitch for Guerrilla streams. There'll probably be a lot more of those. Especially after Katawa Shoujo ends. As much as I love it, reading it does kind of drain me for the night. So kind of anything I'd want to play after I kind of just end up wanting to relax. And with the way work's been a little bit, I kind of just want to get home and relax. But in the future, there'll definitely be more Twitch streams. We're almost at 100 followers on Twitch, too. For the longest time, I was so much further ahead on Twitch than I was on YouTube. But now we're like almost even, which is awesome. I love it. It'd be crazy if we could get 100 subs on YouTube before 100 followers on Twitch. But it probably won't happen if I stream on Twitch like once or twice. Just with how Twitch is. But other than that, yeah. That's all I've got for you. Possibly collab stream tomorrow with Bloodfall, and we'll play Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Just depends on how I'm feeling. But I'll update that on Twitter as it goes. If it happens, it'll be at 2 p.m. CST. Yeah, if I went through all that already. Remember where you are in your mental script, Yuki, idiot. Come on. I hope you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, or night, whatever time of day it is for you. I hope you're safe and I hope you're well, and I hope to see you in the next stream. But I also hope to see you over in Val's stream. Click the link, go watch Val, subscribe to Val, she's amazing. OhaHyou, everyone. Bye-bye.